It happened again. After my last video where I gave ChatGPT $8,000 of my savings to build a PC of its choosing, this video had to be cost effective. But Harris Heller, the stream doctor, he's ruined that for me. Let me explain. 5 years ago, I started my streaming career from my sofa to one viewer, my phone. The one viewer was me. Like so many, during lockdown, I had dreams of making it big on Twitch, but I clearly had no idea what it was that I was doing. So that's when I was lucky enough to find Harris. Finally, somebody with straight talking, qualified advice that, could really help me.
Best thing you can do, quit.
And since then, over the years, nearly every part of my streaming setup has been inspired by his videos, and it's generally kept me always on the right path. In fact, it was actually Harris who led me to my current webcam, the Elgato Facecam, a 1080p webcam with DSLR-like features. I've absolutely loved this thing. I even bought a second one just to have an extra angle for my streams. So, when it came to feeding my hardware upgrade obsession with a new, higher quality camera, I decided to trust Harris again. But to make things a little bit more interesting, this time the trust was going to be completely blind. The plan was simple. I find Harris's latest camera recommendation video, and whichever camera he picks, I buy. No questions asked. And if I'm being honest, this felt like a safe bet. Since I bought my Facecam, we've had the Facecam Mark II, the Facecam Pro, which is a 4K 60 webcam, not to mention the extensive range from Insta360. To be straight, whatever I ended up with, I felt safe. As Harris always says, his goal is to stop us from buying the things that we don't need. I head to the Senpai Gaming channel, I scroll a little, and there it is. Best content creator / streamer cameras of 2024. It's 5 months old, that's perfect. But, right as the video starts, I get this sinking feeling. Harris opens with, for streamers, I think now is the best time to buy a mirrorless camera. I don't recall webcams ever being described as mirrorless cameras. The video covers 4 cameras, all mirrorless. Remember when I said this video had to be cost effective? The options were as follows. First off, we got the cheap option, the Sony a5100. I don't know much about it, but cheap sounds good. Then we've got the Sony ZV-E10. This is apparently the go-to camera for a lot of content creators. It's a camera that I've actually experienced with in the past, but never actually owned. Then we have the sweet spot, Fujifilm XM5. Not something I know anything about, but at the time of the video, it was brand new. Then we have the outrageous, the Lumix S5 II. Massively overkill for what I need and way over budget. Now, as I said before, I've watched Harris for years. I know he has no less than 8 full-frame Sony cameras.
8 full-frame Sony cameras.
And buying used cameras is like his favorite thing.
Buying used cameras is like my favorite thing.
And honestly, with the cheaper options being the Sonys, it's still more than I planned to spend, but if I could snag a used one, I can get a far better camera and still call it a win. But then, as we hit his final thoughts, Harris reaches his verdict.
And so that's why, in general, for streamers, I recommend the S5 II.
My first thought's to bail. Delete the video, delete the challenge. Nobody would know. It'd be like it never happened, but I would know. And sometimes I'm just way too honest for my own good. So straight to Amazon. I check for a used Lumix S5 II, but there's only one listed. Body only plus an extra battery. £1,377. That's without a lens.
This is the worst.
I have zero camera knowledge. I'm a textbook case of having all the gear but no idea. But Harris has never steered me wrong, so my rule is trust the process. My logic? The camera body holds all the tech. So the lens, a glorified metal tube with some glass, is a comparatively cheap accessory to go with it.
False.
Because of my lack of knowledge, I had no idea what I was looking for. Every lens listing was just random letters and numbers. Harris didn't suggest one, so I did the smartest thing that I could. I googled it. Already way over budget, I grabbed the cheapest compatible lens that I could find. £288. It's fine, we're fine, it's fine. Then I needed a mount, a dummy battery, a clamp, a HDMI cable, and a cam link. Before I knew it, my grand total hit £1,828. Just £1 shy of buying this camera brand new.
Everything burns.
I had to convince myself that this was the bundle deal of the century. So the finance was agreed and the deposit was paid. So this here is the Lumix S5 II. Perfect condition, it looks amazing. Except when I turned it on, I realized I made the rookie error of forgetting an SD card. This is easily rectified, there's loads of them on Amazon, I know that they're cheap. So I moved on to test its features. See, the big reason this camera is so special is something called 6K Open Gate.
6K Open Gate. 6K Open Gate. 6K Open Gate. 6K Open Gate. 6K Open Gate.
Let's go! I don't know what the heck that means.
Harris explains most cameras crop the sensor for 16:9, leaving the rest of the sensor just unused, turned off. But this one, it lets you record the full sensor. This is great for editing when wanting to reframe a shot or creating vertical content without feeling so punched in or claustrophobic. However, when I go to test that feature, it's grayed out with an error message. APS-C. APS-C is something I'd seen before though. It turns out I bought the wrong lens. I locked myself into a finance agreement for the wrong lens.
I am dead inside.
At this point, I'm already in too deep. I had to fix it. And I found the correct lens for 3 times the price of the original. Okay, fine, whatever. Another finance agreement later, there's no looking back now. Let's just order the SD card and get this over with. But guess what? It happened again. I thought SD cards were supposed to be cheap. £8, job done, but to actually use this camera properly, apparently I needed a much faster UHS-2 V90 card. £100 for an SD card. Why is this my life? So now here we are, armed with the best 4K camera that I'm ever going to need and crippling credit card debt. So the question we all have, myself included, was it worth it? Now this looks really good. I'm gonna have to find myself a new skincare routine because you guys can see everything. The fidelity on this thing is on a totally different level. I mean, the background blur is just insane. It's almost like it's a fake backdrop. It's that good. Even the logo on my chair is blurry. I mean, that's supposedly both the camera and the lens working together, but damn. I'm absolutely blown away by this thing. See, the quality of it is on a totally different level to what I'm used to. So this is going to take some getting used to. I'm still learning the settings, by the way. I'm still learning how to use this thing. So if anybody's got any pointers or tips or anything like that, I'd really appreciate it. Honestly, I've got nothing but love and respect for what Harris does and his content. I'm sure if he ever actually saw this video, he'd be so disappointed with me just because of how stupid of an experiment this was. So the big question about whether or not it was worth it, sure, just do your research. There was no reason for this to cost me as much as it did. Nothing but stupidity. This thing was way over budget, but this is going to keep me going for years to come in my streams, my YouTube content, even my day job. My last video boosted the channel by 100 new subscribers. I've got nobody to thank for that other than you guys. I appreciate your support so much. If you liked this video, please drop a like, drop a comment about what you want to see upgraded next. Maybe my background that, you can no longer see? I don't know. Drop an emoji in the comments below whether or not you thought this upgrade was fire or trash. It really helps with engagement. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, and stay frosty.